Assalamu alaikum, good evening everybody listening. I just had a really quick video and a quick idea I wanted to talk about, and that is the favour of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, if we look at different stories in the Quran, such as the story of Musa alayhi salam or the story of Yusuf alayhi salam, it's actually very illustrative of actually how the favour of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sometimes isn't always that obvious and that apparent when we look at things in a worldly way. And the reason I wanted to talk about that is because I feel like nowadays we particularly have a way of looking at things, which is a very simple-minded view, and that is we tend to think that when we're struggling in life, it's because we don't have the favour of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and when we're doing well in life, whether that's financially, emotionally, or just any way really, we think that, oh, the favour of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has been restored. And yes, it's definitely true that at some points in our life, we can perhaps veer away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and our relationship can deteriorate, and as a result Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may test us to bring him closer to us. But I think sometimes when we're going through difficult times we can feel like, oh, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may have abandoned us, or we no longer have the favour of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I think if we look back at the stories that I mentioned, such as Musa alayhi salam and Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, and Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam in particular, actually we can see throughout their entire lives, including the good and bad parts, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's favour is still there. You know, when Musa alayhi salam, we know he returns to Egypt, we know he manages to lead the Israelites outside of Egypt and to the promised land, and we know he gets a family, and we know he's able to escape persecution. But during those first moments, actually, when he accidentally kills someone, when he runs away, when he makes tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he's sitting by a tree by himself, he's destitute, he doesn't have any money to his name, he doesn't have anyone he can call on for help except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Actually, Allah's favour is still there with him. It's just the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes at the perfect time according to his divine planning instead of our wishes and when we think it should come. And likewise with Yusuf alayhi salam, the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, even though yes he did become the minister of Egypt, he does reunite with his family, he does bring them all together, he does forgive his siblings, he does save the nation of Egypt with his policies and everything, and he does have that blessed opportunity to help that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him. But actually, when we look at other points in his story, when he's thrown in prison, when he's thrown in the well, when people are persecuting him, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is still with him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala still reassures him as he's being put into the well, as he's being, put in prison and everything. And so really, actually the favour of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is always with him, even in those difficult times. And actually it's really interesting if we look at the language of the ayah, so of Surah Yusuf actually, at the end, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes himself, when Yusuf alayhi salam is in a position of power, that he is subtle in every matter. And actually, when Yusuf alayhi salam is in prison, when he's in the well, Allah is described as ghalib, which means he's dominant over everything. So he's dominant over everything, and his favour is on Yusuf alayhi salam, actually, when Yusuf alayhi salam is going through very difficult times in life. And so I think that's why it's really important for us to remember, because when we're going through difficult times in life, or when we're struggling financially or emotionally or whatever way, we can think we've lost the favour of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and when we get it back again, we'll be in those good positions. But actually the favour of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is always with us in the fact that we're Muslims, and even if we sin, that we actually have it in our heart to feel bad, that we can turn back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we can ask for forgiveness, we can make tawbah. All of those things are actually a favour of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when we look at things just in terms of material ways, or in this life, that, oh, I'm struggling financially, and this other time I wasn't, so I lost the favour of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No, just because there are people who are doing really well in this life in terms of their earnings, in terms of their family, who maybe actually they don't have the favour of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they don't have as many blessings as we do, but because we view things in such a narrow-minded way, whether we're in difficulty in life or not, whether things are easy or not, whether we're financially dependent or not, whether our health is okay or not, because we view things in kind of a binary way. Are we good or are we not good? Are we struggling or are we really rich? And because of that way, we tend to think we either have the favour of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or we don't. And like I said before, there are times when we can lose that relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but we can always come back, and that in itself is a blessing, and that in itself is a sign that we still have the favour of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it's something that's always with us. So I just thought I would share that quick video and that quick message with you guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to leave a comment, share and subscribe, and if this helps you, then share it with someone else, and stay tuned for more content, inshallah.